Yeah, it's so rare. Can I just say it's so rare to see a lineup that has no healers in this stage of the tournament, right?
It's not like Minotaur got banned.
Yeah, it's not like Minotaur got banned. It's just not picked at this point. They're gonna go for the Cho to at least increase a little bit more in terms of pick off and rely on their gold laners to wreak havoc.
And that prediction was brought to us by our official telco partner, Smart. Here we go, game number 1 in this eternal rivalry. The Barangay have yet to put anything on the board against Blacks International. Both junglers coming in, not interesting. It's Andori who actually gets some leashing.
Both of them also starting in like the orange buff, so that they could have a start in terms of like the purple, and the others are going to be pressuring them moving forward. But Blacklist International already in the start of the position, and looking at how fast Haji is moving with that one, I think he's using the Wilderness Blessing at some point, and I believe he does. But no, he's actually using the Weapon Master to increase the magic damage, and that's something that we don't see very often.
That's called Big Brain, right? What he wants to do. And a lot of times when we, I should say when we do get to see Nelvaria picked up, she's usually leading the damage department, right, for the most part. So that will make this even scale better for Haji especially if he's getting early kills here.
Yeah, they're going to lean hard on Haji. They're going to protect him. They're going to set him up. And he in turn will do the same, even get some vision before the fight begins. About 30 seconds before the first turtle spawns, and Blacks International making rounds around here, despite Omega being the one with a lot of Wilderness Blessing.
There are so many other opportunities for them. It's going to be burned out, and the initiations coming in from both Omega and Blacklist are not yet evident at this point, which is why they're no longer going to go ahead and initiate in terms of like a pick off that is possible. They're going to wait for both Chaknu and Renegade to be able to get their level 4s first, as the turtle is about to spawn in a few seconds.
Very calm, I would say, early game, right? I mean, they were obviously both teams looking for plays early on around the map, put pressure where they could, but ultimately no one going down. First turtle, though, going to be up here. They're going to fight for it. Etu Max also grabbing that heavy spin available to him. Wants to zone Sensui out. That's exactly what he does. Keeps him away from the turtle, the objective. Renegade going to find the way of the dragon. Will be secured by Andoru. He's quite low, still going to be up for a little bit longer. Edward grabbing the first blood. Sensui will be in trouble as he falls as well. A trade for bodies. The objective going. Edward still going to be up. Ryota goes down. Could not take out Edward.
All right, we talked about how Haji is going to be very instrumental, very pivotal, impactful even. I don't expect that to happen at 2 minutes.
Yeah, but you don't count Etomax out at that point, because again, that was a great heavy spin to put Sensui away from that fight. However, Edward was on the other side. He was making sure that the pressure was felt here by both the jungler and even the XP laner coming in from Smart Omega, which is why now Edward is at a very hot start, 2-0-0, especially with the tank. And that is the hotness. That was the Mamba mentality, man.
Exactly.
That was it.
I thought you were going to say the saying.
Ask and you shall receive.
The Mamba surprise.
Oh,
Here
man.
it is.
I'm sorry. I missed it.
I thought,
but it was a
Hans
Mamba
was gonna do
surprise.
It was. It was a good one.
I was surprised.
All right. Again, I'm asking in behalf of the MPL community, the worldwide, international community as a whole, like, where's the Mamba? 3 minutes in, here he is.
Here he is. All you need to do is just ask.
Solid choice there. Again, pretty much still, though, even given that, everything that has happened in the last minute or so, it's still pretty much even across the board, and leading into this turtle in about 30 seconds here, we're going to find ourselves, Kelra already feeling the heat here. Renegade making sure he doesn't come back, so they're going to get some extra gold as well.
Filipino savage things. Very few gold laners in the world can actually do what he just did and fend off 4 opponents this early on and still keep his purified.
And that was an unconverted kill also going out to the side of Blacklist International.
That's right.
So they have to find another way to make some certain pickoffs or make another pickoff to get them more lead and widen the gap between them and Smart Omega. But because that hasn't happened, we're at a stalemate once again.
That's right. Turtle's already up. Wall put up by the Mamba here. Ryota jumps in.
Ryota going to jump in. That was a wild charge as well. Sensui trying to get in range for this Retribution battle. Chaknu keeping him at bay. Sensui gets it. Somehow, Edward jumps in with the penalty zone. They're going to follow up here. Chaknu will fall. And Doru gets taken down by a snipe from Haji. Just like that, Blacklist International finding some momentum.
You see the shields and the damage buff from the turtle in full force.
My goodness, Sensui with a clutch retribution take to make sure that the turtle will go to the side of the agents. And with all of the fights during like the first 5 to 10 seconds within that turtle clash, Edward hasn't even used the penalty zone just yet. That's how, that's how patient he was with using his ultimate to make sure that everybody else was in the best position possible to hit them with the penalty.
And the whole problem was, in the first turtle, sure, it was Omega who was calling the shots, but when it happens to be Blacklist who pulls off with initiative, it all crumbles down. I saw how Ethelmas was struggling to get a stolen heavy spin in.
Oh man, it's just, causing problems right now for Ethelmas at this point because the heavy spin was already utilized. But again, he has a heavy spin to get back in the fight.
That's right, Ethelmax here, alongside Chaknu, coming in, Haji from the flank, always on point. It's scary how the KDA Machine has one death, but must be respected. He's a threat at any point. 1v1.
Oh, Ryota! Edward might be in a bad situation here. 2 versus 1. Can he sustain this enough? He can't. And Doru grabbing the kill. Good rotation there from Smart Omega.
But they're very much aware of it now, so conceals are going to be both used. The pressure on the gold.
Oh, spotted. The Hitman bumps right into Chaknu and Kelra. Oh, the map shrinking.
Yeah, they just trade the turrets. Cross map. They get that at least. You kind of anticipated a forced initiation, maybe even from Chaknu there, but better to play it safe. Smart Omega still trying to maintain things here to keep it even.
But if it's a trade for the XP gold in terms of like the laning stages, it would probably go, or the lead would probably go to the side of Blacklist International because it's Oheb that benefited from that one. But Sensui gets caught.
Oh, Sensui gonna be in trouble. Has to use the heavy spin out of here at 2 max. Has to use his as well. Now the fight for this turtle. Ryota gonna be taken out. A solid Way of the Dragon. Edward now forcing at 2 max out. And just like that, again, Blacklist International finding these wins in these fights.
At best, it's a wash, but at worst, yes, it is Blacklist winning. And Kelra that whole time had a free go down bottom. And just like that, he's more than happy to oblige. So I don't know what the game plan is here for the Barangay, for the agents, as we step into the mid-game.
I mean, there's just not enough damage if we're going to be talking about it. There are some moments where Oheb is already part of the fight. Just look at it, right? He already has 1 assist. He's capable of at least dishing out a ton of damage with the side of Blacklist International, engaging on those turtle clashes. Meanwhile, we haven't seen Kelra join the fights coming in from the Barangay.
Oh, he's going to join this fight using the Blazing Duet on Oheb. He's back. Ryota jumps in. Gets the kill. Oheb down. The rest of the team going forward. It's a double for Ryota. Shows up after that Blazing Duet from Kelra.
The new general steps in, repping the Atoy army, and shows up. Omega back in the driver's seat. Who'd have thunk?
Yes, he's bravest of the fighters, and they're going at it again.
They're gonna go onto the turret here. Sensui gotta be careful here. Their turret's gonna be worked on in the tier 1 in the mid lane. Push back further. Ryota jumps in.
Wait
again.
a minute.
Gets the stun. Sensui falls in the mid lane. Smart Omega finding momentum.
Does this thing not have a cooldown? He hit him again with another bravest fighter.
Dude, Ryota started the game with an 0-2 and 2. And then now he has 3 straight kills, 2 up top, and then they're also taking another mid lane turret. So this is just turning around just because of one person, leading the Atoy army, but this time leading the Barangay with a 1k gold lead as well. And Kelra, from at some point in the game where he was very much pressured, he's now leading in the gold.
Oh, they shrank that gold lead, made it moot. And with that, Kelra's up by about 500. And because of that, the map belongs to Omega. It's blue right now. And Andoryu's first to the scene, pulling the Lord over.
Man, I feel like even just looking at those lists there and how much has been earned by both gold laners, despite everything happening, just speaks volumes on exactly that matchup, the head-to-head there in that gold lane. There's the conceal play going to come through. They're going to be fighting for this Lord. Sensui going to get locked down. Renegade looking for his own here.
Heavy.
Still going to be working on a heavy spin already going to be used. Renegade taking quite a bit of damage. Heavy goes and kicks Etu Max out. Wait. Can he get the kill? Sensui gets the Lord, but he will be in trouble as he falls. But Lord going to be secured here for Blacklist International.
That's more than worth it. I would do that about every day, twice on Sundays.
I mean-
That's amazing.
That's like a run and gun strategy coming in from Blacklist International. They just separated the team fight, tried to force at least more members to go ahead and take Sensui out. But Sensui, before he's gone, he's gonna take it all.
Another way of the Dragon. Chaknu just melted Oheb here, utilizing the kid, but they're in trouble. Kalra firing back, can't get a kill. Edward on the hunt though, gets that Purify out. Quite the bit of a threat here. Lord still has to be dealt with in the bottom lane.
Credits to the Filipino Savage, his veteran wiles, his instincts to keep his Purify, because he was expecting there would be someone there. This could have been disastrous if they lost Kelra at this point while they defend the Lord.
The lack of crowd control is starting to become a problem right now for the side of Smart Omega, because you only have the wild charge coming in from Shaknu, and Etomax already used the heavy spin.
Oh, Etumax gonna get locked down, has to flicker out.
Whoa!
Chaknu there to help him out. Good thing he was there. They keep Blacklist International at bay.
What makes this so amazing at this point, right, 10 minutes in, is almost tit for tat. Anything Blacklist does, anything Omega does, it seems like the other has the answer for it.
And what's crazy about it is that Sensui is lacking 800 in terms of gold. Well, Andorio is actually leading at this point, but because of the major retribution plays that he is executing, they're in the lead. Even
right.
if it's just 164 gold, it's still a lead, and they're willing to, force all of those resources out just to make sure that they can continue to secure more objectives.
Dude, for players like Sensui, the numbers are just numbers.
Yep.
If he needs to, he will press the button when the time is right, and he will do exactly what he did for the first Lord of the game.
Makes it count. And that's exactly what you see, no matter how many times he's locked down with his own heavy spin from Etumax, which we've seen multiple times. And now we've come to this point, right? It's still even. Although the pendulum has swung in favor of both these teams at different times in the game, Kalra picking up a solid item here that's going to be crucial in this team fight capabilities for the next Lord.
It's been relatively mum here between the two mid laners. Haji owned the first 5 minutes of the game, no question. But Etomax here sitting at 3-0-2. He is just putting Omega on his back. They catch Sensui.
Sensui could be in trouble here. He's going to get whittled down, trying to escape. He has to pop the heavy spin. Somehow makes it out. Sensui living to fight another day. Meanwhile, on the top side, Oheb grabs the tier 2. They're working with the space. Oheb will get back. Lord up in less than 10.
He made like boys like girls. That was the great escape.
I mean, that was a great escape. He threw it away, and then I can't remember the rest of the lyrics anymore, but anyway, he's right there. It's an unconverted kill, and now Smart Omega wants more.
Oh, Chaknu already using that conceal. Astro Echo going to be used as well.
Ow.
Still going to be working for it. You have to respect that poke damage coming out from Haji here, and they know it. Smart Omega still not pulling the trigger just yet.
This is a big 5v5. All members of Omega, all members of Black present. Lord at half health.
Edward gonna jump in. Can't find the connection he was looking for. Ryota to respond. Finds the stun on Haji, but will get kicked by the hitman. Edward falls. Ryota down as well. 1-for-1 for both teams. Who gets the Lord? Heavy spin gonna be used by Sensui. Etumax falls. It's a double. The Lord is taken by Andoru. How did he do it?
Andorio at the same time was just right there in the Lord pit. The heavy spin managed to catch him, but at the split second of that heavy spin duration, he was able to get the retribution out and make sure to keep Smart Omega in this game. The only downside there was Oheb got 2 kills. He got the double kills, so that increased, or that already widened the gap between him and Kelra.
That's right, but in that exchange, Blacks International just helped Kel1, helped Oheb get through and get a milestone in his career. He has surpassed Hate, who has been playing for the Mpl much longer than him. Oheb debuted in Season 7, and now he is in the top 10 of the most kills in the league's history.
That's crazy to think about it. And they're not going to go with it. The conceal has already been utilized by both of these teams, and they're not willing to risk it. I was very interested, or that was a very questionable call here coming from the side of Smart Omega, because the Lord is still at bottom. They could have just waited for it before the initiation even started.
Yeah, so this is just going to be probably made quick work of. Etumax once again taking that heavy spin. They look like they might want to cut off here. Oheb got to be careful, already using the ultimate. The heavy crossbow is going to back off. They're going to lose the turret here as it goes down. Can they hold on to the rest of them? That's what they've got to do on this defense.
All right, here's how we figure that out. Again, Omega works in mysterious ways. They had the Guardian barrier. Oh, Lord. Renegade. All right, close. All right, it paid off anyways. They only missed that tier 2 in mid, but they got top and bottom.
If that would have been a second later, that would have been a big oof.
That's right. The Hitman would have been,
hit.
Yes.
How ironic. But again,
I felt it.
Yeah, I felt it too. But one thing that you have to take note here from the side of Blacklist International is they're banking all of their damage onto OHEB. Like, there's not a lot. They have all of like the initiations that are very much capable, or they're very much capable in terms of team fights because of how many crowd controls they have. The only problem that I'm seeing here is that there's already so many other members of Smart Omega who has the lead, whereas Haji has only built up to at least 3 full items here. He's still waiting for 2 more. So Haji needs to be able to scale a little bit faster for them to be able to, poke them a little faster, and then from there, they could go on.
That's what I was getting at earlier. It's been a while since we've felt Haji in these big engagements. About 30 seconds away until the next Lord. It is Luminous, folks, so it's going to crash into those big objectives. Something to note, in the off weeks during MPL, a lot of mid laners said Etomax needs to improve. He took a break last season and now he's back. I don't think that's what we're seeing right now. 3-1-3, and the way he's holding out, always finding these heavy spins, I think Etomax is back, fair to say.
Yeah, he's doing a great job for the most part. I mean, he, especially early on, right? And he's a big part of what has kept that pendulum going from, Blacklist International's favor to Smart Omega to where it is now. And this is where it all results to. Look at the positioning as well from Smart Omega. We got to keep an eye on it.
Lord at relatively neutral. Look at the position.
Chaknu.
Oh, that is Chaknu.
Chaknu
and that
and Kelra.
is Kelra. But down bottom, check it out. It's the opposite. It's Renegade and OHEB.
Wow, group yourselves into 2, they say.
Very interesting positioning. We're going to force Sensui out here.
Whoa!
Renegade going to jump in, finds the way of the dragon, already forcing the heavy spin from Etuman.
Oh!
Edward going to find the penalty zone, but where's the damage? OHEB has to help them back off right now. Smart Omega also quite low here. Do they reset the Lord or do they fight this one out?
And at the same time, there's still a lot of ult on Omega!
Sensui going to jump in, has to use the heavy spin, going to get whittled down, taken out of here. Ryota grabs the kill. Ryota also will fall in the Lord for the OHEB, who secures the Lord for Blacklist International.
Regrets! Barangay Smart Omega! They could have had the Lord! Where did it all go wrong?
Oh my goodness, it was so close. He was just right there. Andoryu pressed the retribution a little too early, and OHEB was in position to be able to take that, using the second skill or the first skill right away, coming in from the Irithel to make sure that it would pierce through the Lord and get it. Just when Omega was about to make a comeback and Sensui was gone.
And Kelra was holding out the blazing duet for a rainy day. Little did they know, that was the rainy day.
Oh my.
That was when they exactly needed to zone out Blacklist. And now they're facing down the
Whoa!
barrel of a big old fight.
The Mama Surprise, Andoru on the hunt for OHEB. He will fall the mid lane. Still going to be working for it. Renegade could be in trouble. Picks up the immortality. Going to get stunned. He still has a little bit longer. Takes the brunt of the damage. Blacklist International there trying to help him out. Kelra will get the kill. So they get something. They have to deal with the Lord up top.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Edward went in for the penalty zone and flickered out, right?
Yeah,
that was
he
an animation cancel.
Yeah, he did flicker out.
Defensively.
Yeah, it was a defensive maneuver just to, escape out of that situation, because it was getting nasty for the side of Blacklist International. I mean, OHEB was already out. It was a Purify committed, but he still couldn't escape because of the initiation that was brought about by Ryota. There are going to be some moments where, Smart Omega is lacking. They couldn't get some objectives. They were getting picked off, but again, when things matter the most, it's that guy. He's Atoy R, he's Ryota, he's gonna make sure the bravest fighter will land in.
Not just, he's the perfect target for the Way of the Dragon if you're asking any Barangay member.
Yeah.
Kick me, please. Kick me. And that's what happened, and that's what allowed Omega to claw back into a comfortable position. They're 1,000 gold ahead.
I don't know how many times this lead has switched places here, guys.
Forth and back and forth.
It's a pendulum, literally, and it is a great game number 1 that we have, reaching that 20-minute mark just in a bit here. The next Lord 45 seconds or so away. And it's all falling into place here, and it's all going to come down really to those minor decisions as we've been seeing from both these teams.
That's right. We're about 30 seconds and change away from this next Lord spawning. It is evolved, so it's the biggest kind of Lord you can score in the Land of Dawn. And yes, I got to say, on behalf of everyone watching, this is beautiful MLBB. You've seen a showcase of mechanics, of macro. You've seen solid Lord dances. This is what Filipino MLBB looks like.
And people say PH, MLBB era is over. I mean, I don't know if they get that, but I get it. Respect the hustle. But again, from what I'm seeing here, I can't believe it's already reached 20 minutes into the game, and there is still no inhibitor destroyed. That is how, macro and micro gifted both of these teams are in terms of how they're rotating and how they're picking off kills and how patient they are.
Concealed play by Renegade, positioning them into these key bushes. Blacklist with the pull.
The Kelchak again, though.
Expected. Look at the positioning.
The Mama surprise!
There it is. Renegade finding the kick. Etu Max has to use the heavy spin. Edward going to get whittled down quite a bit. Has the immortality, though, still. It will be popped. Looking for the follow-up. They're going to be happy with it. The Lord will reset. Both teams expending a little bit here. They have to be careful how they approach it. Still, Smart Omega going to go with it. Ryota going to jump in as the brave fighter he is. Going for Sensui. Sensui could be in trouble. Immortality going to come through. That's the wild charge. Oheb trying to pump out the damage. They get the lockdown. The Lord is ignored for now.
Wait, Renegade!
Renegade finds the target. The Hitman strikes again. Finds that 2 Max.
Oh!
And we're back to it. The Astral Echo going to be used. Blacklist International now going for the position of the Lord here. Does Smart Omega answer?
Oh, it's about to crumble down. It's about to break out. Sensui finds a headbutt.
The damage, they got to respect it. Oheb with that immortality as well. This is going to be very risky for Smart Omega unless Andoru can pull out. And a miracle again.
Oh, wait.
Renegade going to fall here. Kelra looking for his own angle. Edward hanging on the back end.
What?
Oheb could be in trouble. Couple hits away. He's going to heal up a little. Sensui falls. Edward now the front line. They can't get to Oheb. Everybody's low for Smart Omega.
All right. So far, 2 down for Blacklist. Etomax about to come back. Omega still on the scene. There have been so much thrown out by both teams. And just like that, the Lord's still standing.
Leo, the patience. I don't know if it's patience or they're just not willing to commit a bunch of resources. But here's a resource.
Chaknu gonna go in. Whoa! That was a big oof. Chaknu. He flickers in, takes the brunt of damage. Edward gonna jump in with the penalty zone.
Wait a minute.
But he's got no backup.
Wait a minute.
He's trapped. Edward falls. Andoru now on the hook for Oheb. Gets the immortality. It was all part of the plan, says the Mamba.
Many times in this game, we have questioned what is Omega doing, and only they can explain. Only they can take the Lord from Blacklist. 22 minutes, 50 seconds in.
What the flicker? A part of the plan?
What blunder are you talking about at this point? Was that even a blunder? I don't think so. It all went according to plan. Here's the replay to show you. The flicker wasn't even, they missed it. But again, it wasn't a blunder. That is why it wasn't presented anymore. And in fact, just because of resources committed by Chaknu, it's now a chance. It's a given opportunity. It's an opening for the side of Smart Omega to take him down.
The test results just came in. Chaknu's IQ is actually 259. That's an actual number.
You can say 3,000 IQ.
Thank you. You can have that now. I have to give back the paper. It's not mine. It was an official's.
Too good of a play that could result into ending the game here if they can make it happen. Lord still making its way on the top side. Blacklist International lost the mid lane inhibitor turret. They're trying to hold on to what they can.
I regret ever questioning if the Mamba's back. The Mamba is back, folks, and they are knocking on Blacklist door. Here comes a heavy spin from Etomax.
Renegade using the kick. He's going to flicker defensively as well. Stays alive here. They do still hold on to 2 turrets. Can they keep it together? That's the top one down now. Smart Omega looking to cap out the game if they can. Going to force it. Wild charge going to come through. Blacklist International really trying to hold it together. Penalty zone by Edward. They're still holding on. Oheb cleared out. Takes damage himself. Goes for it. Etu Max will fall. And they force Smart Omega out of their base, but it's fully exposed.
All right. Checking the map here, macro-wise, I think the call for Kelra was just to slow roll it. but Etomax got caught out.
Yeah, I mean, Etomax went a little too freaky there. He wanted to go for like a little bit more in terms of like the attack, but again, he got cut off. He got blocked, bro. It was a heavy spin. Sensui basically said, no, bro. You can't do that.
You can't be freaky. It's a Sunday.
Yep.
You can't go freaky
It's a Sunday,
that
man.
doesn't make
Come
sense.
on. That's why it didn't push through, right? He used the heavy spin, pinned him in the corner, and then right after that, it's going to be a major takedown. But I also have to say, it was a beautiful bait coming in from Renegade before the start of that Lord Pit, even though the base was fully exposed, because they've managed to at least, you know, exhaust a bunch more in terms of the ultimates coming in from the side of Smart Omega. With that, you know, there weren't a lot of other options for Smart Omega, but to just go ahead and be aggressive.
Yep. With about 20 seconds left until another Lord spawns, it's 2 apiece for Smart Omega and Blacklist International as the map clearly looking blue. There's nothing left inside Blacklist base except that lone base. And with that said, Andoryu first to the scene and Blacklist, Horse saying it's Ube time. They're sticking together, man. They can't afford to get caught out like last time.
Oh, that's a whole lot of immortalities for both teams that they got to work through as well. We've seen them juggled around, popped as well. And we get to a point, too, obviously, where Wind of Natures and Winter Trojans play a part of this. Etsumax, once again, grabbing the heavy spin himself. Haji going to lay down some covering fire from a distance. Both junglers getting in position, holding the Lord here. It's going to be up to the roamers who decides to pull the go first. Jacknu taking a couple shots from Haji.
Yep, they're going to have to reposition. Every time this has worked out for Smart Omega, save for that last time where Chaknu just played all of us. They need to find a better flank. Conceal play coming in.
He's going to go around. Renegade going to be able to spot it. Haji's still going to be okay. Edward going to jump in there. Oheb from the backside to back him up. Penalty zone going to come through. Look at the damage from Oheb. Going to force Etsumax back. Smart Omega now on the retreat here. They accomplished forcing Smart Omega out of this Lord Pit.
That's 2 ultimates out from both of the teams. It's now back and forth. But again, there's an inhibitors or there's a base that they have to worry about.
There's the kick. Renegade going to find the target. Andoryu could be in trouble here. Still has the immortality. They got to help him out. Kelra with a blazing duet. Can't find a kill though. Still going to be resetting this Lord. Both teams just feeling the situation out.
Dwayne Pilas had to spend his purified. Look at the base! Look at the base! Edward has to clear. That means it's a 4v5 here in the pit.
Oh, Smart Omega knows this information.
They're
Edward not here. They're going to force Sensui back. They're not going to give him any space to work around with. Renegade might be taking a risk, looking for his own angle.
Yeah, Oheb's
going to jump in. Could be in trouble as well.
Oheb
will fall in a desperate move. It won't work out. Sensui's still going to be there, though. It all could work out. It comes down to the retribution. Sensui somehow gets the Lord. Edward's still working on the base. Haji there to back him up, and Sensui somehow lives on top of it.
He gets away, stole the Lord, and if it comes at the cost of Renegade, so be it. Blacks International still in this.
That was GTO, Grand Theft Objective. I know, Leo, that you're using it a bunch of times, but I'm going to use it at this moment. That was Renegade escaping once again.
He's still alive.
And again, this is another one of those moments where it was so close. You were right there.
Homie straight up fugitive, like that movie by Harrison Ford.
Oh, man.
He's still alive.
He's still here. And with that, it's going to be Omega versus Blacklist, a 5v5 straight up, because Etomax will respawn alongside Oheb. But Blacklist has a Lord. This is Blacklist's best chance yet, approaching 30 minutes.
I mean, they don't have Oheb as of the moment, but they'll take what they can get. An inhibitor would be the best case scenario here, so Haji's making them feel the pain with the Astral Recalls and the Astral Echoes.
That's a giant Astral Echo.
It's gonna bump.
Check it out.
Lord going to charge in here. Oheb trying to make his way to. Might just decide maybe we're happy with what we got. It might not be much, but we got some space to work around with.
Right, breathe. We're okay. Both Blacks and Omega need to regroup. They both need to consider again what's important. What's their next plan of attack? Because this next team fight,
oh, this could be it. They do get the Blazing Duet out here. Just planning themselves in Smart Omega's jungle. Going to take the orange buff. Their eyes set on these base turrets. They want to even it out. Their base is exposed. It's time they expose Smart Omegas. Renegade planting himself over the wall, could be putting some pressure. Minion Wave's going to push in a little bit. Smart Omega trying to hold it together. They don't want to lose this if they can. Edward going to jump in. It's Andoru that gets pulled in. They lose the turret. Blacklist International happy with one for now. Makes their way to the top side.
That's huge win.
That's one less turret, or that's one less lane they have to worry about. Because again, it's an inhibitor for an inhibitor, and they probably want more.
Yep, and it costs very little. And Omega have to now expose themselves and overcommit to even defend. They keep one in mid. But yeah, Black is very happy with this progress.
Is it a requirement that you go 30 minutes for today in game ones?
I think so.
They got the memo.
Is it like a requirement right now? Because that is exactly what we're seeing right now. And I'm not even complaining about it. This is a masterful display of MLBB right here in the Philippines with all of the heroes and players already built up their items as of the moment. There's going to be like some sort of change, especially with what happened with Oheb a while ago. He changed his immortality to buy the Wind of Nature for defensive measure because again, the immortality is on cooldown before that fight even started. And now they're starting to give the purple buffs to Haji so that he could just throw out planets, throw out bombs, and make sure that he could go and land the dish.
I'm glad you mentioned the KDA machine because now more than ever, even more importantly than those first 5 minutes wherein he introduced himself, he is now the life of the party. I think he's brought back this ultra late game for Blacklist International.
Well, once again, both these teams, 31 minutes into the game, they find themselves in a familiar dance. Both gold laners here, very crucial on their positioning. Ooh. Kelra as well. He's quite aggressive. Wow, look at the damage.
All right. Whew. For the first time in, again, 30 minutes, Omega have been very honest with the way they're positioning Kelra and Chaknu. This is dangerous. I don't know what they're thinking. Woo! Oh, Chaknu gets away. Still a few immortalities on key heroes.
Oh, they're going to use the conceal too. Chaknu trying to make, they get the signal to go on charge. Goes in with a heavy spin. Going to be the answer from Sensui. Takes quite a bit of hits. Has to back off for now. Lord, all the
They're
while,
still holding it.
Still being held by Andoru. Renegade could be the man to find something. Edward doesn't have the penalty zone. Lord going to have a little bit of a soft reset here. Renegade will kick him away. He doesn't have the way of the dragon anymore. It could come down to this. Smart Omega trying to assert dominance for the Lord. Ryota going to take quite a bit of damage. He's in trouble. Who gets the Lord? It's going to be Andoru securing it. And now Blacklist International on the run. Can they fight it out? Smart Omega is quite low themselves. There's the Winter Tranchant going to be used. Andoru falls, but he ultimately got the Lord.
That is what matters.
Big key pickoff. I mean, Andoru for the Lord, and the Lord stopped scaling about 5 minutes ago.
It's just going crazy right now, especially for the side of Smart Omega because they got one of the latest Lords in the game. Because again, Andoru has struggled in securing the previous Lords with the Retribution, but this Lord right here, 32 minutes and 52 seconds in the game, is a different beast. It's the same animal, but it's a different beast because of how much health it is packing right now.
That's right. It's scaled up to maximum, and Andoru, you're right, has been given it his blood, sweat, and tears, and he's not here to see it. This is his legacy. I wonder how Omega's going to make the most of this whole force. Out a wild charge from Chaknu.
The wild charge out here. Sensui, we're going to find the lockdown with a heavy spin. Ryota going to take the brunt of the damage. Could be in trouble. Still, the Lord going to be up there, tanking a lot of this being thrown by Blacklist International. Oheb will deal work with it. Meanwhile, Smart Omega going to wait. Andoru, 10 seconds or so away, and Lord is taken care of. We're 33.5 minutes in.
All right, about 99% of me thinks if Andoru was here and they orchestrated that Lord push perfectly, we would be done.
Things would have been different.
That's right, but Blacklist had their priorities set, and they know how to defend. They know what to get out of these exchanges, despite it being less than ideal, and we're still here, 34 minutes in.
It even reached the point wherein the base is already naked. Like there's nothing added anymore.
Both of them.
Both of them, right? So there's no inhibitors, not even an objective that they have to take care about. Just look at it, right? There's nothing. There's nothing. So they just have to buy a little bit more time, them to secure a bunch more objectives, or at least try to find the best case scenario in terms of the item composition before the fight even starts. Because again, it's about to go down, Naisu. And when I say it's about to go down, it will really go down.
This has to be the last Lord, right? I mean,
It has to be.
about 40 seconds away, this has to be the last
Hey,
Lord.
I'm not surprised if it isn't the last one.
Gentlemen, we're on our way to almost getting to the longest game in the season, right? Which was, what, 38 minutes, I
I
think it
called
was?
that match. That was Blacklist Echo earlier.
We're on pace.
Friday.
We're on
We're on
pace.
pace.
All right, you know what? Even if this isn't the last Lord, check it out. They still have to dance.
Yep.
This is not a free Lord unless something disastrous happens. You know what I mean?
I mean, the last dance is, upon us. I don't know if it's about to happen because of how full the items are. I mean, Shaknu is very much aggressive. It even reached a point where Oheb was already confident enough to go to the front lines and just dish out the damage to be able to defend the Lord. But this time around, they're not afraid to show things up. Haji doesn't even need to use the Echo anymore.
You're going to force it in, but look at the backside. They get him out. Oheb could be in trouble here. Returning fire at 2 max. One hit away. Jack New left to himself. He has the immortality, but he will go down. Blacklist International finding a win in that team fight. They've got the numbers advantage here, and Lord is up.
That's more than a minute that the Mamba is not part of the Lord dance. Omega has to buy time because Blacklist goes straight for it. They're going to blitz this Lord.
Look at the HP coming in from that Lord. That's 83k that they have to worry about. But because Shaknu's not part of the equation anyway, they're going to go for it.
Look at this, the Savage. Kelra, he's setting up a big old backdoor play.
He's going to go for it. Lord here.
And Dory's still
Appel,
here.
Haji finding at 2 max. Can they pull this one through? Kelra just running it down mid. Might be looking for something to force them back. Who's going to answer? It looks like Edward goes. Ryota hunting down Oheb. Oheb going to be fine. Ryota still will be there. Kelra comes through. Whoa! Oheb is down. And that is the win right there in that team fight. Andoru will now find Haji. Haji in trouble. He falls here as well.
That's 2 down.
That's 2 down. That's a big old Lord scored by the Bangay. And this is going to be an almost impossible defense. Blacklist are hedging on Edward, Sensui, and Renegade.
There's no clear.
There's no clear. There's no damage.
There's very little clear. Oh, the agents are going to have to put up their energy balls. Put your hands up. Because Blacklist needs it right now. Horse needs it right now.
Oh my goodness, is this about to end? Is this the end of the 37-minute game?
The Barangay is ready. They're going to force the situation at 2 max with a heavy spin. Renegade getting zoned out. Lord's still going to be in the midpoint of the base. That's the immortality. Minions working on it. The crystal is there. Jack New making his way, looking for the wild charge. He'll find it. And in 37 and 25 minutes of the game, Smart Omega takes game 1.
This winning moment is brought to you by our official sponsor,